So it's not a business plan that was created to go to the go-to-market for raising money. It was a business plan that was created to create a business, and I told myself that 3 years from now, either a lot of people will be chasing me or a lot of people will be running away from me. One of these two will happen. And today, thankfully, the former has happened. A lot of people want to fund us. It's just that we say we don't need money. What do we need the money for? We're in a happy place is what people say. But it's a happy place that you can also create for yourself if you create a solid business. There is no rocket science to it. Every good business is going to be funded. And every bad business, people will run away from it after a point in time. And that's very important. So, and when we created this business, coming to the semantics of the learning of our own proposition. So, one, we invested in a very, very credible platform. And then we realized that our competitors have very deep pockets. One of them is InfoEdge, which funds Shiksha. Shiksha is a brilliant platform created by one of the most credible promoters in the country that you can think of. Sanjeev is a dream entrepreneur in a sense. And the team that they've assembled is again one of the best teams around. So how do we be different? They understand technology, they crack the thing, they have 200 people working, and here we are 20 people trying to create a space for ourselves. So I told myself that they understand how to create a technology platform. How can I be different? I don't want to fight on their turf. I don't want to fight on the ground rules that they set for me. So I said, I'll be very credible, very comprehensive, and very complete in the kind of information systems that we create. They understand technology, we understand content, we understand data, we understand what the student wants, we understand what the student doesn't want, and we also understand what the student must do and should not do. So I changed the rules of the game. I said, while you're creating, you got a great technology platform and you do a lot of marketing to get students onto the platform, I will start looking for information that the student is likely to look for 1 year hence and start creating content today. And all through technology, all through, digital marketing is, digital is no rocket science at this point in time. You exactly know in 2016 December what the students were looking for if you're, an education player, and similarly for anything else, right? So for sure in the month of December, everyone will be looking for CAT results. We know that. For sure in the month of April, May, June, students will be looking for how to crack JEE. And so on and so forth. So there is a pattern that's been established over a period of time. And what we did was we actually created 6 verticals: management, engineering, medical, law, and so on and so forth. And we started tracking what the students were looking for 1 year back and started creating content exactly in the same format. Exactly in the same format. 6 months, and they've invested a lot of money, mind you. 6 months after I started my digital platform, we became the #1 platform in the country. Because we started understanding what the student wants, whereas they started understanding what the technology can give. And both had a dramatic variance. Is it good that I created a technology platform? Yes. But I had to change the rules of the game. I could not have competed on the rules that they set for me. I was too small a player. I was funding my own venture with my own money and then trying to make it work. So we said we'll be complete, we'll be comprehensive, and we'll be most credible. And these 3 we start ticking off each one by one. Credibility we took on in the very first year. Of the top 5 advertisers in India on education space, we took on the 3 of them, and 2 of them filed cases against me. I'm okay with that. I did realize that there was a serious problem with them and I need to take them on. And that's a belief, that's a conviction. And that belief system doesn't change even today for me. If something is wrong, I'm going to stop it. Even today on a platform, we don't take a distance learning ad. Even today on our platform, if someone comes saying that I'm giving an MBA from foreign university, we don't take it because that is not valid in India. And people come and say, no, but the university is giving it. Who are you? I said, listen, it's not legal. A student in India who's getting a foreign degree can't even say that I've got an MBA if he wants to do a PhD for a moment. So you need to be very clear about where you stand. Someone says I'm giving a BBA from University of London, brilliant. But can he write a probationary officer examination with that BBA UK London? He cannot. So we need to be very clear of what our audience sees and ensure that the audience is completely protected. Wall-fenced, if you will say so. So that they keep coming back saying, these guys will tell me what is true and what is not true. And that we did. A lot of advertisers of ours hate us to the core. But they keep coming back to us because they know that this audience is trustworthy audience where what Career 60 tells them, they're going to listen to it. So they would want to be in that ambience. So much of my advertisers are not those guys who really have fallen in love with the platform or anything. It is just that they cannot ignore the audience that we created out of a credible platform that we did. And this story keeps going on and on. When we do our rankings, and you must know this, people who are into the business of awards and those kind of things, always in life there is only one winner. And the winner thinks he's got it by right. He thinks he deserves it. And the losers think that they've been robbed away of what they deserve. That's a simple thing. No single university in this country, if you do a university ranking, there is only one winner who got the first rank. And then everyone thinks that they should be in the first rank. And the first rank fellow thinks that he got it because he deserves it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's no favor that's done on anyone. Which actually in our scheme of things is a fact. But so every time when we do a ranking, 20 clients will walk out of us because they think that we have taken money from someone to take them away from us. Over a period of time, they realize that they can't bend us, they can't bully us, they can't use the advertising, clout or muscle to, make us do what they think is fair for them. Over a period of time, I know a big advertiser who's now in the top 5 advertisers for me. 4 years he avoided me because he thinks that I've been bought over by someone. 4 years I kept avoiding him, and 4 years he kept advertising with the biggest guys around. I was patient. I used to go and make the sales call, but I would never agree on what he wants me to do. And in the 5th year onwards, he realized that these guys cannot be done. The stamina is for 1 year, 2 years, but it can't be for 4 years, right? So he realized that the DNA is such, and he now advertises with us because the audience is with us. So somewhere along the line, I think you need to start investing in the kind of platform that you want to create and the credibility of the platform, and then superimpose your Excel sheets and businesses on top of that. When you're creating the DNA of the platform, it is very slow, very painfully slow. You'll lose people, you lose clients, you lose customers. It's worth it. But over a period, because when you start scaling up dramatically, all these things will add up to the whole thing. And when you do this again, you should be very clear that you'll disrupt the market dramatically. You can't be one of the players. At some point in time, you must say that I'm the best in this space. And when I created Career 60, I was very clear that, listen, I had multiple offers to be an employee somewhere else, be a CEO and somewhere else. I was very clear that I'm not going to be a also-ran player. Now, there is no mistake in saying that I want to be in the top 3 players in Chennai. So be it. But be in the top 3 players in Chennai, because increasingly in the bandwidth constraint that people have, if you are not in the top 3 in the space, you are out. The top 8th player in the system is not even recognized or acknowledged. So when you create a thing, you start looking at virgin markets. You don't get into a market because it's huge, where there are very big players, and you say, oh, it's a huge market and there are 25 players, let me also get into it because the market is huge. And I'll give you a small example in that. When I created Career 360, I created that as a magazine. And we also created a magazine called Competition 360, which was taking on the competition success review and Pratyogita Darpan and those kind of things. And very soon I realized that I'll bloody my hands so much, but I'll not be able to crack the market for the next 3-4 years. I just pulled back within 6-7 issues, if I'm not wrong. Pulled back immediately and put all that money on Career 60 in creating a digital platform. So there is wisdom at times to consolidate, look at your, in the kind of things that where you're spread out, and you might be spreading yourself thin at times, and say, no, these of the 6 things I'm doing, I'll withdraw from 3 things and put all the 3 things in this in the other 3. There is a lot of wisdom in that. So Career 360 was a magazine, Competition 360 was a magazine. I wanted to create a digital platform. I realized that all I have money is for about 18 months. So the way I was losing money, within 18 months I'll close down. I closed on Competition 360, suddenly the money, I could last 24 months. And all the 24 months, I put it back on Career 60 and say I'll lose everything in 12 months. Because the simple thing that I said was, I don't want to die a painful death. Either I'll die immediately and start all over again, or I'll change the track of the business. That, as an entrepreneur, you should be able to take the risk. At some point in time, you say that, the multiple things I'm doing, certain things are not working out, certain things have a greater potential of working out, can we actually work on what works out, right? And that call we've taken, and the day I put money, I told myself that I'm investing X amount of money in the digital platform. If I recover 30% of it, because you need to see the light. You can make the 30% into 300%, but if there is zero, you can't make it into anything else. So you need to see the light. So I told my digital team that, this is the money that I have. I told my sales team that, at least 30% of it must be recovered in year one. And we recovered about 20%, but that's okay with me. You need to have some revenue coming in, because the best proof of concept is when someone else is putting her money onto your concept. It is not, the best proof of concept is not when you put your own money on your thing and saying that I'm going to invest and invest and invest. Someone has to invest on the platform. And that's what I ensured. In the first year 20%, second year 100%. Today, our clients, last year we had 160 clients, this year we're going to have 400 clients. And the way we created the business also is that you take a university, for example. We first created only engineering. Again, I'm talking about the virgin markets versus markets which have a clutter. You had lot of MBA portals, Pagal Guy, and many guys were there, and each of them was an emperor in each of those things in that sense, right? So what we did was we created an engineering platform first. We did not go into the MBA. Engineering, huge audiences, no credible platform. We first invested money in engineering platform. After 8 months, we started seeing traction on engineering in terms of revenues. Then we created MBA. After MBA started creating revenues, we invested in law. After law started creating revenues, we started creating in MBBS. Now what happens is this. We actually have piggybacked on the growth of the university system. We were not growing by ourselves. The universities were growing, and we were growing along with them. So if I was making a university happy with the kind of ROI that I delivered for an engineering platform, he says, these guys are good. I have an MBA program now. Can I invest money for MBA program also? Then I created law. So today, whatever platform I create, there is a ready-made client who's happy with me that he says, okay, you're creating, like this year we're creating fashion and design, and we're creating mass comm. And all the universities that are there with me who have fashion and design and mass comm would be an automatic client with me. The client is waiting up there. It is just that you should create so much trust between you and your client that he will say, if these guys are creating something, I need to first allocate money with them before I go anywhere else. We are one of the people, at any point in time, we'll have at least 20% clients who will say, no, we can't deliver, don't worry about it, we'll come back next year. We are one of those people who will go to people, after taking money, mind you, we go to them saying, listen, we've taken your money, we committed this, we've seen the traction in the last 10-15 days, it's not likely to work out, can you shift this money to some other platform? And we give them advice of which platform to go to. Because we're not looking at transactions, we're looking at relationships. These universities will survive for the next 100 years, and this company will survive for the next 100 years. What's the purpose of taking money for the one single year, and for the next 5 years we don't even meet each other because they think that we've robbed them of their money? It's not worth it at all. So when you say credible platform, you should actually, it's not just the content, it's not just the audience, it's the kind of team that represents you, which says that this I can deliver, so I'm going to sell it. This I cannot deliver, so I don't want to sell it. The courage of conviction to say no to business will create more business for you. Because when every time you say no, that I don't want your money, the other person suddenly says, this guy will only take when he's certain about what he's likely to do. And that is something that we created so much that recently we bought a company called No Paper Forms. Career 60 is into, it's an online classified game. And No Paper Form is actually an enrollment software company. It's a SaaS-based company, it's a cloud company, it's a tech company and all. Every single client on Career 60 is now moving on and taking No Paper Form, where it's a fixed revenue model. Per application form, we charge you so much money, and all the money comes to us. So all I'm saying at this point in time is that, when you want to create a fast-paced company, the first 3 years you invest in your DNA of the brand, invest in your credibility, invest in being more comprehensive, more complete as much as you can. Focus your energies on a few things, and then start putting growth. Because today, we grow at 100% year on year for the last 3 years. And that growth for me would continue for the next 3-5 years in terms of 100% CAGR. In terms of number of clients, in terms of revenue, and in terms of the number of students that we access also, because we keep creating verticals as we move along. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Mr. Maheshwer. I would like to understand from you, what is the strategy and execution plan you have taken to take this platform to rural and schools and colleges in the remote places? Because I understand like people in cities, metros, they are tech savvy and they are able to adapt to it. But the Indian culture, right, the challenge is in the rural area. So I would like to understand what special things that you are doing to take this platform to the remote places.
So, ultimately, the first thing that I said was that we start creating content that the student is likely to look for. That's the first thing that we said. So, on careers, we track about 400 examinations that happen in the country at higher education space. We track about 60 engineering examinations. We track about 30 management examinations. We track about 50 medical examinations, law, and so on and so forth. So if you have to target students in Chhattisgarh, which is remote, if I will use that thing, and the student there is not likely to come on my national platform, I start creating content which is about Chhattisgarh in terms of what are the examinations that are there, what are the colleges that accept that examination, at what cutoffs, which college you will get, what branch, and so on and so forth, right? So increasingly, there are two things to it. One is the kind of content that we create, and two is the student is no longer being left with an option but to be online. Like today, I don't know how many of you know, you can't fill up an application for bank PO unless it's online. There is no physical form. You can't fill up a JE form but for online. Most of the students take their examination online. The results come online, the counseling happens online, the admissions are given online. At a higher ed space, that's already happened. The challenge is to create content which a student in Chhattisgarh, a student in Jharkhand, and a student in Srikakulam is likely to look for. And that is what we work on. You know, if you want to look, on a platform, we have 17,000 colleges. To collect the data for the 17,000 colleges, you'll be shocked to hear this, we file 10,000 RTIs every single year. 10,000 RTIs. I have a department which just works on RTIs because these guys are not transparent with data. And I want them to be transparent with data, which says that a college in Chhattisgarh, the remotest part of Chhattisgarh, should be able to say that I am this college, I have these courses, the opening cutoff for civil is so-and-so, computers is so-and-so, and mechanical is so-and-so, and so on and so forth. The data is not forthcoming. The fee is so-and-so, the faculty is so-and-so, the infrastructure is so-and-so, the placements are so-and-so. I want all the data with me. So when I file an RTI with them, I file it with them with a CC to MHRD and AICT and whatnot, so that they understand that we are serious about the whole thing. And every single year, the 10,000 RTIs go as a routine for me, and the information comes to me as a routine. So you need to create the data space where people know that at this port, I'll have all information about my college that I want to get myself admitted.
Thank you.